members of Parliament and fellow South Africans, before I continue, allow me a moment to share with you an open letter from a young medical student, Sarah Steyn from the University of Cape Town. I've read and reread this letter since it was published on the 7th of May. The extract of the letter I want to share may be disturbing to some, but perhaps familiar to many of you, too many. The situation this young doctor describes of the state of public hospitals and the emotional toll of working day after day without the basic resources necessary to help people in need is the heartbreaking reality that this budget hopes to address. It is the reality that all of our efforts as political parties and as government must concern with, above all else. Part of this letter reads, and I quote, "Working in a public hospital with a way too few resources punches you in the gut every day. It is not just the trauma of seeing your patients die. It is having no gloves in a delivery room, no alcohol swabs to clean wounds, and knowing that nurses stop at the shop on the way to work to buy their own gloves and masks because the clinic has run out of it. Where waiting time for a scan are months long and surgery delays needlessly let disease progress to the point of being inoperable. It is the limited beds in high care that mean doctors are regularly forced to decide whose life is worth saving more because there's only one space for one," close quote. Madam Speaker, it is for this reason that the budget maintains the expenditure trajectory presented in the March 12th budget. Addressing these persistent spending pressures to restore critical frontline services and invest in infrastructure is critical for improving access to basic services and lifting economic prospects. As a result, total allocated spending, excluding interest, will amount to 6.69 trillion over the medium term. There is also proposed additional spending of 180 billion rand this over the medium term. This is lower than the 232 billion proposed during the March 12th budget.